All right, today we're going to look at Adobe Captivate 9. It's the most recent version. We're going to open it up and it's going to give us some dialog boxes, at least it has on mine so far. This one I just have hit cancel every time. Doesn't seem to affect it. And then when you pull it up, it should pop up like this and show these 6 different types of projects that you can create. And then at some point too, you'll get this reminder that your trial is going to expire. So there's these 6 different projects. So the one we're going to use is the blank project because you can incorporate most of these other types into your blank project. So we'll do that because it's more inclusive. But this one, responsive project, is basically set up so that as you create your module, you can change the screen type so you can see what it will look like on a tablet or a smartphone. A software simulation you can use to, this would be really helpful if you're teaching software to someone because it allows you to go through the motions and click and add things on the software and then stop and let the learner go through and do those as well. And then you can put in quiz questions and stuff too. Demo video, really similar to screencast type thing where you can demonstrate something. From PowerPoint, you can take, if you started a presentation in PowerPoint or something like that, or you have some instruction that way, you can upload that and use that as the basis or the base for your Captivate presentation and then just make it more interactive or use it that way. And then Adobe Captivate Draft is an app you can get for your tablet or smartphone that allows you to kind of rough in a module. So if you're like in a meeting and you're talking about what kind of module you need to do, you can kind of start putting it together in the meeting or whatever, and then bring it back to your desktop computer, upload it to the full version of Captivate, and finish it there. So we're going to select a blank project and hit create. So once it pulls up, you'll see that it looks really similar to most types of presentation software, Google Slides or PowerPoint. And it is really similar, so it makes it fairly easy to use that way because it will look familiar. There's just a lot more that you can do with it. So to start out with, we'll pick a theme. All of the slides are fully customizable and you can do whatever you like. And there's not that many themes to choose from actually, but at least this way, you get some background color automatically, and then you can change color families and all kinds of things too that way to change it and make it more unique. So this is your title slide. It always starts with that. So we're going to go ahead and add a title to our presentation or our learning module. And to do that, just like most of the other software, presentation software, you double click on the text to add text. And so we will do that first. Then we will do our presentation just because I like Star Wars. Once you start manipulating a slide, this property bar pops up on the right. And you can see here, this is where you can change colors, you can change shapes, you can change, you have all these like states where basically like you could have this first and then after 2 or 3 seconds it would change to something else. And and then you have control over the fonts and margins and all that stuff too. This timing tab, that would be if you were changing states, but then on basically every slide it gives it 3 seconds, but you can change that before it moves on to the next one. And you can always, when you're using it, you can always pause too. The only ones that it doesn't move on from after 3 seconds are the knowledge check and question slides. So speaking of those, let's add some content slides so we can get a little bit of content in here. So you click on this plus slides button and it gives you the different kind of slides you can add. So you can see here, you can add PowerPoint, video, demos, software simulations from here and include all of those in your one presentation or learning module. So that's why I chose the blank one. But you can let's pick a content slide. And this would be the kind of content slide you would use for adding just written information. If you wanted to add, the video or software simulations, you could do that too. And it basically just puts it in as a slide. But here, we have some properties. It says, or in timing, it shows 3 seconds and no transition. If you want to do transition, you can do all of these. Sometimes those are a little distracting, sometimes they're great. And then if you click back on properties, it shows, once again, all the properties that you can use on these slides. If you click on this little arrow here, it gives you some layouts for different slides. So I mean, there's one that's like objectives, a table of contents, some blank ones, title slides, some ones that have columns and things like that that you can, are kind of laid out for pictures. So we're gonna do, let's go ahead and we'll just do a content slide like this. We're gonna go back and put our title of so we'll just double click here and put in the title of our module here. And we can do, add a subtitle, and we can say concentrating, because that's a big part of using the force, concentration. And then you can put in your text here. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of content in there. You can also add images. You can import them from your computer, whatever, that way. So feel free to do that. Okay, so now that we've seen how content slide works, let's add a question slide. A question slide and a knowledge check slide are really similar. The only thing that's different is with a question slide, it tracks it and grades it and gives at the end of the module, gives the learner a score. So let's go ahead and we'll fill this out and we'll do some items about learning to use the force. So then you would change these if you want this one to be answer A, this one to be C, and this one to be B. And then you put your answers in there. So this here kind of looks, it's laid on top of each other, but this is your, you got the answer correct, or you didn't get the answer correct, or you must answer the question before continuing. So since we've done that, let's preview our short presentation here. You can do it. You can preview just one slide at a time, the whole project. You can preview it in a browser, all these different ways that you can preview it. But let's just do the project for now, just so you can see what it looks like. So basically, the non-question slides are timed. The question slides, it stops and it, for you to finish the question. And then you submit it. Oh, incorrect, we got them wrong. But then at the end, it gives you your quiz results and things like that. So sorry, you failed, whatever. So that's why, we preview it. All right, so now that we've created our short presentation, for your project, you'll do 4 content slides and 3 knowledge check or matching slides. So for knowledge check slides, you pull it up, and it's really similar to the question slides. The difference is it doesn't track them and give you a grade at the end. It just makes it so that you can't move on to the next slide or next part of the presentation until you get it right. So to publish these, there's several different ways to do it. You can publish to your computer, you can publish to 4 devices, you can publish to Adobe Connect. That's one you could use if you have some other collaborators who would like to look at it. Or you can publish to Adobe Captivate Prime, which is basically Adobe's version of Canvas. It's their learning management system. Publish for apps, it's actually pretty cool. You have to have the full paid subscription to do it, but you can set this up and publish it as an app so that you can put it on people's phones or mobile devices that way. So, but it does require the full subscription to the software to be able to do that. So we're going to do publish to computer. So there's a couple different file types that you can save this as. You can save it as the HTML5 SWF file, which is fine, but basically you have to have Captivate to be able to open that file. So if you're working on a project and you wanted to publish it for now, you could leave it in that way so that you could pull it back up. You can do it as a video executable file. So for this, so that it can be used by anyone that doesn't have Captivate, we'll save it as executable. And then it gives you the option to save it as Windows or Mac. For this project, save it as Windows because I don't have a Mac. So but let's just go ahead and give it a title. And then the location you want to save it to, you can pick whatever file you would like or whatever part of your computer you'd like to save it to. I'm going to put this one on the desktop. And then, there's some other options here that you can use too. Then hit publish, and then it'll publish the file. Down you can see right here, you have this CP Captivate the Force. And if you just open it, then it starts the presentation. So anyways, the Captivate is massive, and there's so much that can be done with it. Like when you have the full subscription, they allow you to use a resource of like 30,000 stock photos, all kinds of different things that you can do to make your presentations better. So After you get the trial, I know everyone's got homework is busy, but there's some great tutorials, and also if you want to experiment with it, it's really fun. So, all right, thank you.